Hello, YouTube. I'm the Red Rider, and welcome back to Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Today, we are tackling on the trial, and I think this is a simulation? The simulation trial, so we're going... Sorry, let's see what happens today, but it doesn't look like a simulation, does it? Oh, hi, Vera. Good morning. And of course, she's quiet as ever, but anyway.
So, you're Vera, right? I'm Juicy right. That's right with a W, but not right?
There's a lot of rights. She's still quiet.
We're on your side. You can tell us anything, please.
Oh, and that is her lucky charm, her notebook.
Hello. Good morning.
She speaks?
Not bad. But I think you'd do better with a little smile, you know.
Trucy! You should know this, you're a female. You never tell a female to smile.
You're so pretty. You need to sell yourself, you know.
Trucy, let's take it easy for starters. Yeah, she's shy. She's a shut-in. What should...
Oh, look at the little smiley face. Thank you for taking my case.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, look, she has a little bear. Is that a lion on her apron? That's so cute. Okay. Well, that's a start, I guess. What is that? There she goes with the nail polish again. Is that nail polish? It looks like a statue.
That's great, really. It's so cultured.
Here she goes again.
Want to try?
I'm a guy. No thanks, but I'm sure Trucy would love nail polish.
Ooh, really?
Girls.
And I just got cancelled.
The victim, Drew Misham, was a forger, and a stolen painting was found in his studio. A life of crime, really. And maybe one that led to his death. Here we go. This is what I've been waiting for. We're back in the courtroom. Let's go. It's been a while since it started with a little bit. Well, we will now... Are you okay, Judge? Begin the trial... Are you okay? Vera Michelle... Is the judge okay? I don't think so. His voice is all raspy and he's looking around all nervously. This is unusual behavior. The repercussions of today's trial will most likely be felt for a long time, and may indeed alter our legal system forever. Talking about jurist system? Yes. Oh, hello, Clavier. Long time no see. Today is a test of the jurist system, and the first step towards a new order in our court. Daddy's secret mission. The jurists will function like a jury. It is hoped their inclusion will help the courts to better reflect the people's will. Why aren't there any jurists in the court? Where are they? 3 closed-circuit cameras watch this courtroom at all times. Oh, so we're in the different room, I see. Oh, I won't get to cross-examine the jurors then. That sucks. The jurors have access to everything that transpires. Jurors! Judge Well, and Judge Cool. Nice. Now see here, Prosecutor Galvin. I was going to say that. My apologies, Judge. Jurors, Judge today's trial coolly, if you would so kind. Jurors are unbound by the letter of the law. They don't affect the trial with evidence by their feelings. Yeah, so once their feeling is shaped, there's like no going back. So you gotta tread it carefully, Apollo. And we're about to find out just what effect they're going to have. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin, the details of this case, if you would. The victim is the painter, Drew Misham. He was killed in his own studio. His coffee was poisoned. By whom, you ask? By none other than the defendant, Vera Misham. Yeah, hold on a minute. We don't have any evidence for that. There wasn't any poison in the coffee. Achtung. Someone has been doing their homework. Indeed, poison was not present in the coffee, but on the mug itself. True. The mug. Residue was found on the rim, I see. The autopsy report describes the manner of our victim's death. The court accepts this as evidence. Finally. Okay, autopsy report. We get it so late in the game. Okay, everything is a little bit organized now. Let's take a look at this. Alright, Drew Misham, time of death, October 6th, 9 and 9:30 p.m. Anthraquinine poisoning. Thank you. The victim's death was caused by anthraquinine poisoning. a chemical compound that does not occur naturally. Lethal damage is a mere 0.002 milligrams. A touch of anthraquinine in the body is the touch of the Reaper's scythe. No, I don't want to meet Barack Von Zieks here. He's supposed to be dead! Very well. Prosecutor Gavin, you may present your witness. Alright, I have for you today a simple man for a simple case. Is it Brushel, I think? A man who witnessed the murder in its entirety. A journalist, no doubt. Here we go. Hello, Brushel. The witness will state his name and occupation.
I smell cringe. Right. Well, for starters, my name is Spark Brushel. My job is a lone observer of the world.
In other words, a freelance journalist, right?
If you don't mind, I'd like to state something here for the record.
What's up?
I dislike conclusions, specifically the jumping to aspect of conclusions. Preconceptions make Park sandbox of endless desert waste. End quote.
But you are a journalist. You said so yourself yesterday.
Well, that's true, yes. You must understand, I stand before you today a man with a dream. I have a dream that all people will not judge themselves and we will all live in peace and harmony one day in the world. I'm offering you my testimony in exchange for exclusive rights to the story. Scoop turns Mr. Brushel into that Mr. Brushel. End quote.
Alright, I don't want to hear about it. Let's hear your testimony then, shall we? Simple case, eh, Gavin? For me, the jury is still out. Well, our job is to find the truth, and I need to hear what he says. Here we go.
I visited the studio around 9 that night to do the interview. The first outsider to enter the atelier, journalistic history made. End quote. His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. And you know what happened next? Star falls. End quote. No one else entered the room beside her the whole time.
Okay. I'll press on every statement. That does sound like a simple case. Unless you're the one who poisoned him.
What are you saying, Judge?
Need to remind you, the cameras are rolling today. Felt the need to be a bit dramatic. Yes?
Who are you talking to?
No one. I'm narrating. You didn't do it, did you?
Me do a thing like that? Come on, that's like newsmaker making the news, end quote. Or even contemporary witch hunt, end quote.
This isn't Leighton.
I know, wild accusations, rock courtroom, end quote.
That's enough. Rock indeed.
Prosecutor Hammond sure looks like he's having fun.
I'm so happy for him. Yeah, but we have a job to do. Alright, let's begin our cross-examination. With this tooth-headed looking boy. But was that toothpaste all over the... Ew, that's disgusting. Here we go. Let's hold it right there. 9 o'clock at night? Isn't that a little late for an interview? And the... 9 to 9:30. Okay.
If the greatest painter Drew Misham says come at 9, believe you me, I go at 9. The first, and as it turned out, last interview with such a prolific painter.
Right. Can you tell us what it was like when you arrived? Okay. You were the first reporter ever in Drew's studio? I'm recording, right? Yep.
Posterity will look back on that night as turning point in journalistic history. A basically insignificant step for all mankind. But a giant step for that Brushel guy. End quote.
If no one on the outside ever had access to the studio, then it would serve to reason that the deed was done by an insider. It could have been you. By which he means Vera did it. So, how did this epoch-making interview go? Yeah, talk about it. A little coffee right after we started. Would you mind being a little more specific?
Ooh-wee, let me tell you, I enjoy a cuppa.
Ooh-wee, cuppa. What is this guy going on about?
In fact, it all began when I was in the 3rd grade.
No, wait, 4th grade. No! That's not what I meant. Please, we don't need to hear your life story. Save it for another time. I believe I know what forehead is driving at. The coffee the victim was served. Did anyone other than the defendant touch it? Right, that's what I was going to say, really. Thank you, Clavier.
Well, now, you asked that, if you... If you've got a question to ask, you best straight up ask it. That's what I tell all the new recruits several times, if necessary. Right for grade schooler. That's my motto. Which is to say, I can only write it in. I didn't even read that.
Who touched the coffee?
You know, wait, do you know? What do you mean you don't know?
Did you forget?
I was in the back looking at the studio's equipment when she served it.
That's really helpful. And what happened next? What happened next? Star falls. Yep. Let's start here. What's this about a star falling? No, he means like a star, like a famous person, and falling mean dying.
Star falls, huh? It's like an old telegram. Send money over. Zowie, you don't know? That's like a journalism code word. Important personage passes away. A star falls. Get it?
I even I knew that, Apollo.
There's no gravity in space, is there?
Yeah. How many things stars could fall, really? And how do shooting stars happen if there's no gravity in space? How do shooting stars even move? They have to be touched by something, and then in gravity, speed does not build up. I have questions for NASA. Does this matter? Yes, it matters.
Oh boy, this is good stuff, good stuff. How about star breaks? Nah, lacks punch. I know, star dies.
No, that would then cause a supernova.
Nah, lacks imagination. Of course, you could go with Drew dies straight to the point. I like it.
I think we need to hear about something a little more substantial. The moment of death, Brushel's coffee, the star's coffee. Let's go one at a time. Moment of death. About when did Mr. Misham pass away?
Oh boy, what a scene that was. Puts his coffee mug down with a crash, right?
Yes, and then?
When the cold finger of death touches his spine, life's flames...
Whoa. Oh, I missed that.
Actually, life's flame is a little tired. Life's river froze over. Yes, that's a go. I think he started his article already.
Can you describe that a little more simply? Yeah, I missed that.
Well, as you can imagine, I was pretty surprised. He hit the floor, as they say. Artist Seiger's final performance. End quote.
Antroquinine paralyzed the central nervous system. The body arches back like a bow, the limbs tremble, the throat burns. That's quite enough of that. I get the picture, Clavier. Those want to be able to sleep tonight.
Oh yeah? Well, I want details. Lots of juicy details.
For that, you can listen to our last year's hit single. What?
Antroquinine My Love by the Cavaliers. Available at all major music outlets.
Yeah, I don't need a plug-in, Clavier. The point here is that the victim died of an antroquinine poisoning. Well, Mr. Justice, how did you find that testimony? Well, let's say it's very important. We'll do one at a time. Well, it's an account of the moment of the victim's death. I'd say it's very important. Please add it to the testimony. Ooh. Very well, the court requests the witness to add this account to his testimony. Those spasms, that was definitely death by poison. Death by poison. I don't think we want to present the deadly frame now. Let's press on this again. You say it was definitely death by poison. How can you be sure?
Hey look, I'm a journalist. I've seen a lot of things. And I've had more than my share of experiences with so-called poisonings. Man eats fishy fish, goes bye-bye. End quote.
Food poisoning doesn't count. Should I get him to talk about something else? Yeah. Start with Brushel's coffee. So you drink the coffee that Vera served. You too?
Of course. If someone serves you coffee, you drink it.
Well, Diego Armando would approve of that statement. That's what my old boss used to say. Never did get what he meant by it though.
Oh?
Goto was Brushel's boss, headcanon? But you're still alive, which is to say, you didn't die.
Of course not. No point falling before you're a star. End quote.
That's not exactly what I was getting at. What were you getting at, man? You know the poison was on the rim, not in the coffee.
Oh, yes. There were 2 cups on the tray she brought.
One of the cups had Drew's signature painted on the side. Yeah, that coffee. No chance the guest would take that one by mistake, I guess. Was that testimony important? Let's add it to the... I'd say that is important. Very well, please add it to the testimony. I drank the coffee too, but I'm not dead yet. Well, we know that. Press on this. You're sure you drank the coffee?
Oh yes,
Yes, quite.
I gulped it down, felt that sweet scorch in my throat.
But you say the victim took one sip and fell over, and you still kept drinking?
Of course, drink your coffee when it's hot, never when it's not.
This is what my old boss used to say. Never really knew what he meant by it. Drink your coffee when it's hot, never when it's not.
Let's select this. He who sees it wins, but he who says it wins bigger. End quote. I live in a man sees dog eat dog rights and dog. What? This guy is so. Yet? Guess I can't say I saw him drinking really. He had one so-called sip of that. Man puts lips to mug, drinks, end quote.
That poison is quite virulent, I hear.
My stomach did a so-called somersault. Since I gulped it down with coffee without so much as a second glance at it. Wait, maybe somebody's there. They got a so-called trick. Anyone want to venture a guess for the record?
Does this guy have a pause button? Yeah, I'm getting tired of my throat is hurting just doing his voice. Well, Mr. Justice? Yes. We'll add everything to the testimony.
You're good to press with that one.
Your Honor, this is a vital piece of information. Please add it to the testimony. Alright? The witness will add this to the testimony.
Vital, right?
Please tell me this is it. He had one sip of that. The next moment he was on the floor. He had one sip of that. I don't know. How many testimonies do I have? I missed one. I missed one testimony. 1, 2. No one else was in the room where it happened. Can you say that for sure?
For sure. Sure, I'm sure. Used to you was in a big place, kiddo. I'd known it if someone else had come in.
But they had been hiding there from the beginning. Oh, yeah, that's a big what if. You know, someone had been hiding in the studio. They hardly could have been poisoned that mug with anyone noticing.
You think I, Spark Brushel, would miss something as obvious as that? No way.
Sure makes it sound like exciting. Guess that's his job.
There's only one moment where you need to focus on, really. The moment when Drew Misham died? Exactly, there has to be something there. So the moment exactly where Drew died. Can I do this again? So either he took a sip and he didn't, and then he fell over.
Oh yes, indubitably, just like that. Wham bam.
So Mr. Misham drank the coffee and fell over immediately. I think Brushel's telling the truth too. Can I get him to talk about something else? The moment of death. That's what Apollo said. But when Mr. Misham passed away.
Oh boy, what a scene that was. Puts a coffee mug down with a crash, right?
And then
the cold finger of death touches his spine.
Yeah, we did this. Nice flame, like. Oh, we did it.
Light spirit froze over. Yes, let's go.
I think it's starting to start already. Could you simply describe a little more simply?
Well, as you can imagine, I was pretty surprised. Hit the floor, as they say, artist Seizur's final performance. End quote.
Yeah, we already did this. Yeah, quite enough of that. So, how about we do this testimony? And then, this one. Those spasms, that was definitely death by poison. Spasms? Wait, but isn't it immediately? Isn't our true getting poisoned immediately? It doesn't like leave any trace? Objection! Never mind. The witness statement is clearly faulty. I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Penalty!
Finally, dang it!
You know what I have a problem with? A particular property of the poison use. Atroquinine. Oh, Prosecutor Gavin was quite clear about the poison. Lethal doses of 0.0 2 milligrams paralyzes the central nervous system, and then you die. If you drank that, even you, Mr. Justice, would be reduced to a quivering pile of ash. Why are you using me as an example? Oh, I just realized you're rude! Unfortunately, we weren't told everything. It was a vital omission in Prosecutor Gavin's information. No, there wasn't. An omission? Anthraquinine is as virulent as he says, but that doesn't come upon ingestion, not immediately. That's because anthraquinine is slow acting. Oh, so it's actually the opposite of what I thought. Slow acting? What? According to one forensic scientist, Sky, it's one of the most virulent poisons, but it's absorbed into the body astonishingly slowly. It takes at least 15. Right, I forgot about that. From the time of ingestion, for adverse effects to show. Yes. We suppose that the moment Mr. Misham sipped the coffee was when he sealed his fate. Then it was still have time left to enjoy his last cup of joe. Oh my gosh, this guy's skinny AF! Order! Order! What's the meaning of this? If what the defense says is correct, why that contradicts the entire testimony we've just heard. Well, Mr. Brushel, anything to say on the record? Slow acting. Slow act. It was virulent, alright. And then it already begun digesting its claws into the journalist.
He's working on his scoop.
No time for this. Alright, what do you got for us, Clavier? It's Brushel. Ja? And Brushel. Let's take a trip back down memory lane.
Huh?
Did the victim really die the instant he took a sip? Think it over. This is vital. Yes.
You know what I think? I think that was a not-so-subliminal suggestion. End quote.
I admit, it does cause a problem if he died. When you say he died, I would be forced to say auf Wiedersehen to my simple case, and you would be forced to say farewell to your article. Come again? Oh, Clavier playing games? You can't write a story based on conjecture, can you? And as the case drags on, other reports will pick up on the scent. And you'll be forced to kiss your exclusive scoop goodbye. You wouldn't want that, would you?
Scoop?
Oh, ew! Scoop. Ew, dude! You're... Oh, don't do that. Your glasses, just breathe it. No.
Look, just wait a second, just 1 second.
We're waiting, up with it.
I think I just recalled so important a detail. Rival recollection, end quote. A story survival, end quote.
Attorney utterly confused, end quote. That was perfect. Actually, I did notice something when I visited the studio. What is it?
I've been a poison that takes some sweet time, see?
Not what I've been saying for the last few minutes, apparently. Mr. Brushel, are you saying you noticed something that explains what happened?
You bet I am. The antidote for a poisonous contradiction. End quote, you might say.
Or, I still have no idea what you're talking about, end quote, I might say. Yeah, I know when end quote is now gonna pop up.
I figured it out, but only after an in-depth interview. See, thanks to my journalism skills, I know who poisoned that coffee.
He's gonna put the finger Vera. He's gonna finger Vera. Order! And use your phrasing better. As far as I can tell, the witness is standing by his testimony. Mr. Misham died the instant after he drank.
Of course I'm standing by my testimony, and my dream of exclusive rights to this story.
Suppose there was too much to hope for. What was? Of course you wouldn't choose a simple case. Not him. Him? Who? Phoenix Wright. Who else? Oh yeah, this is the test trial, isn't it? I forgot. Achtung, Herr Brushel. Report for us, if you would. What is that you noticed? This court is the critical trial of the justice system. Afraid no room for doubt is permissible. You will testify to the court about what you noticed. Please don't have, like, every time I have to press and is this statement information? Is this important? Is this important? Is this important? Just have one, please. That was really tiring.
When arrived in the studio, Mr. Misham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. I thought of noting it at the time, of course. Now that I think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note?
He wasn't. Or was he? I don't know. A suicide note?
Yes, he had his look on his face. Man's face inscrutable as a quadratic equation, end quote. Suicide? Poor Mr. Misham.
Is he Oh, if he did commit suicide, that does mean Vera's innocent. Good call, Trucy. Someone commit suicide in the middle of an interview? Oh. Very well. You may begin your cross-examination. Right. That was a little one, but we still gotta go one at a time. And we have very little health left. Was there anyone at the studio other than Mr. Misham?
Well, his daughter Vera, of course.
Was anyone besides Mr. Misham and Vera present?
Not a single one. Not a cat, not a rat, not even a mouse.
The only person who didn't belong to that studio there was you, wasn't it, Mr. Brushel?
I know what you're doing. I know your game. You're gonna try to make me the criminal. I'm trying to use a classic Ramsden phenomenon ploy, end quote.
If you intend to suggest that the reporter is a suspect, I'm sure you also intend to present evidence supporting this assertion, correct? In the meantime, let's move along, shall we? Yeah, we'll come back to that later.
Okie dokie.
So he put the letter away when he saw you?
Early reporter gets worm, end quote. That's my secret.
I'm not sure I follow.
It's the night of the interview. I arrive 15 minutes ahead of schedule. The hand turns, the door opens, and I barge in.
But you barge in? But that's okay to do. I mean, isn't that unlawful entry? Really? Yeah, if you wait for the person to open the door, you can't just, hey, I'm here.
Mr. Mitcham sure seemed to think so. You should have seen him. He crammed his letter into that yellow envelope, and there's secret when I spot one, and that was one.
Does seem significant. Well, Mr. Justice, I wonder. Yes. Yellow envelope. Add it to your testimony then.
Why not? My account comes free of charge.
It was a yellow envelope. A yellow envelope, you say? Objection! Oh, voice crack. As it just so happens, there was a single letter in the desk drawer at the scene. In a red envelope! What the heck? Prosecutor Gavin. Yes. Was a yellow envelope found at the scene of the crime? Yes, it was. Stupid. I have it right here. Is what's gonna happen. Unfortunately. Oh! But her forehead. It's easy to mistake the color of an envelope. How? I don't think so. I guess. Not this envelope. You see, it was postmarked already 7 years ago. Well, Mr. Brushel?
I can explain that as soon as I brush my baldness off.
Oh, his toothbrush is dirty too.
Drew, right. He wanted to give that letter in an envelope. Pronto. Get it out of my sight of my beady eyes, right? So you grabbed the nearest envelope and crammed away.
What about the whole red and yellow envelope contradiction, chump? Well, Mr. Justice, have you anything to say about the witness's claim? That night, the victim put a letter he had been writing in a red envelope. It's possible? No, it's impossible. 7 years ago. That's impossible. Ah, I like your expression. So full of confidence. Thank you. It's simple, really. As it just so happens, the defense team investigated the contents of this envelope. Yeah, it's a find with the assistance of a forensic scientist. What? I wasn't aware of this. Note that this letter is addressed to Drew Misham. Oh, so he couldn't have been writing. It was addressed to him. How would he address the letter to himself? Yes. Let alone send a suicide note to himself.
I've been scooped!
Oh, good call, Apollo. Order. Mr. Brushel, can you explain this to the court?
Oh, my, how could I have forgotten? I suppose this happens to be the best of us. Reporter gets old, forgets lost. End quote.
Are you saying
I suddenly remember something.
Some of that crap and all that? I'm still waiting for an explanation, Mr. Brushel.
Well, that's the thing. See, after he puts his letter in that envelope, Mr. Misham sat there searching his desk drawer for something.
His desk drawer?
Yes, a stamp. A so-called postage stamp. End quote.
A stamp? Whatever for?
Well, to mail his letter. What else? Why would he mail his letter? And then, well, yes, I think I saw him put in the letter in the box. Yes, it was a yellow envelope. He put it in the...
We have it right here. Apparently.
Oh, how I wish it did.
Wait.
You think if that were a suicide note, what a story. Star writes suicide note in front of reporter. False. End quote.
Ahem! Oh, thank you. As I was saying, that has nothing to do with this case. That said... Yes, Your Honor? And if you wonder about the contents of that red envelope, open it up. Yep. rock, paper, scissors, and then close envelope with the close stamp within 3 days. I need to remind you. $100,000 is quite a good deal of money. Well, this was from 7 years ago, John. Yep.
I smell more cringe. So am I finished here? I was thinking of, going home to start writing.
Okay. Wait. What's going on? What?
More cringe. I smell cringe.
I hate to state what should be pretty obvious to anyone, but when you catch the scent of a story, you make that rather unique face.
I'm smelling cringe, and right now you are cringe right now, horned head. Come on! Attorney has active imagination. Little else. And quote,
I need my bracelet to activate. Even I noticed something. My eyes aren't what they used to be. I'm starting to understand what all this perceiving stuff is about.
just has active imagination. End quote.
Yeah, that's not how it works, Judge. Only I have that power. Please continue with your testimony. Tell us about the scent of the story.
Hey, I'm the one asking the questions here. Usually.
He's breaking. Oh, here we go. That last testimony was pretty quick, I'll give it that.
Actually, it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. Reporter Lever's story gets his interview. End quote. Lord concerns in a case from 7 years ago.
Case from 7 years ago?
That red envelope probably had something to do with it. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare.
Okay. So you then to go to press with this story? That's how you got your interview? Blackmail?
Well, yes.
I mean, no. You just admitted that to court. You're going to jail, bud.
It wasn't exactly it's not,
Something wrong, Mr. Brushel?
Look. This is my story. My tidbit. Journalist and for his livelihood. End quote.
I see.
Well, you have me chatting away here. What's going on out there? What if some Wally Wordsworth of Sally Scooper gets wind on my story? They could be going to press while I'm going to waste.
Boy, if you don't shut up. The court feels your pain, Mr. Brushel. Mr. Justice, let's pick up the pace. Certain case, 7 years ago. Again! Is that the case? No, it couldn't be. It couldn't be, could it? I knew it! I freaking knew it! Concern, 7 years ago. A certain case. Gone. From 7 years ago. It has to be this one. Forget, definitely. The story concerned with a certain case from 7 years ago. This has to be it. It has to.
Oh wait, no, but you would be lying about this, wouldn't you?
Hang on a minute. I think I'm seeing things, but I think it's like if he's sweating right here, I think it's just like increased. Just make it sure. Oh, it did! It did! Gotcha! Oh, how many minutes? Like 10? Maybe? Probably. No, not 10 minutes, but a while. Sweat much, Mr. Brushel? Oh, it was sweat. Oh, I was a little stuck on the case for 7 years ago, but then I just realized he probably is lying. The bracelet only relaxes when he's lying, so.
Yes, well, a man can help his glands, you know?
More than that, Mr. Misham's talent was mentioned. He suddenly began to sweat buckets. Yeah, he had no talent! Ah! You're hiding something about his talent.
What?
That's ridiculous. No. Evidence time for Mr. Misham's true talent. It just so happens that I have evidence showing the talent mentioned in the letter. Take that!
I can help but wonder what the court is supposed to conclude from this evidence. And then you made a horrible.
Oh, come on!
Man burns bridge, forgets to cross first. End quote.
Alright, let's try it again. Just so happens, it's this. Thank you! Okay, never mind. The painting was found in Mr. Misham's studio. There are two problems with this painting. The first, it wasn't painted by Mr. Misham. The second is that there is another painting in the studio, which looked exactly like this one, except it was only half done.
Brush my eyes.
Then we have a letter discussing the payment of $100,000, which suggests a certain business operation. The business of making forgeries. Oh, something happened here. I made an echo or something. Oh, he looks ridiculous. That is all, Your Honor. And this relates to the case out.
Everyone, please. Can we keep this private, please?
Nope.
This is my story, my scoop.
Forgery? That's a serious crime.
Drew Misham is known as an artist these days. There are rumors that he dabbled in another kind of art a few years back.
Another art? Meaning forgery?
Drew Misham was talented, alright? Talented at making precise, detailed fakes. A fact that certain criminal elements were quick to discover.
Criminal elements? What? You can't seriously be talking about... what?
Exactly. I'm talking about forging evidence.
Forging evidence?
Rumors started circulating 7 years ago.
7 years ago? Would you know about this, Judge? So are we to understand that this letter, his payment of $10,000 was for...
Exactly. Forged evidence nets tidy profit. End quote.
What's this about? Order. Well, it's like our victim was living a double life. This is my chance. So the victim that ties to the criminal world, right? There are plenty of enemies we know nothing about. Wait, what? This is my first time hearing about this criminal world. We certainly found no criminal connections when we conducted our investigation. Maybe you didn't look hard enough. How do you explain all this money? You have to admit there's a possibility of some illegal activity here. I want to hear what you have to say. There's no proof tying this letter to our case. He's got a point. Our case was, and remains, simple from the beginning. And the defendant could have poisoned that bug that night. And you... Excuse me? Of course.
Hey, the only thing I poisoned my pen when is writing reviews.
Mr. Brushel, your testimony to this point has been quite unreliable. Doesn't speak well of your reporting acumen.
What are you talking about? My journalism is rock solid. Journalism is so solid you can stand an elephant on it. End quote.
In any case, it's your summarized recap of your testimony. If we can ascertain the situation in this studio from the recap, the trial is over. What's he talking about? Cross-examination showed Mr. Brushel didn't have a reason to mean to poison him. As long as there's no other suspects, then Vera is guilty. Next testimony is our last chance. All right, here we go. It is a very quick trial. I knock on wood. That's metal, but you get the point. All right, here we go. Allegro tempo.
The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant. That was Vera, who poured the coffee. She admitted as much as herself. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was that mug, and nothing left that studio after he died. Nothing. Clearly, the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter.
Let's press on every statement. Nice testimony. Clear. Suck. Inked. Without room for doubt.
Shucks. You really think so?
I believe this clarifies the situation that night. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may begin your final cross-examination. Here we go. I still have one trump card left to play. I won't let this trial end until I use it. What trump card? What trump card do we have? I need to check. What trump card? This? Alright, well, let's press on everything. Because I'm down to 1 life. But that doesn't prove Vera poisoned it. How many times have we heard that one? Air forehead. Yeah, you're not gonna go anywhere. The poison reached the victim via the coffee mug. And where did that coffee come from? From Vera. Not to beat a dead horse again and again, but perhaps you can fill us in?
I'm on it. You need a horse meat? I'm your man.
I hate warning. You need a horse beat. Don't beat up the horse, please. They're animals. Animals deserve all kindness and love, except snakes. And you witnessed her pouring the coffee?
Of course I didn't witness this when she came in with that tray. The coffee was already poured and steaming.
Let us not forget the defendant had admired to pouring the coffee herself. Here's a statement. I poured, I served, and I killed. What? That last part was just a little joke. That's not funny, Clavier! Okay. You're sure about that?
Well, to be really precise, Busy Golly made candies the whole time.
Okay. One of those candies might have been poisoned. That's stupid. At the time of the autopsy, no fresh fragrance of mint filled the room. And no mint residue was found. That was a long shot, yeah. Don't tell me you're still trying to prove this? You think the victim ate, drank, or otherwise ingested something other than coffee? Well, Mr. Justice? So what does there actually feel like? Maybe not. Maybe... Yeah. I can prove it. It's this little painting. Proof is possible. Risk it. Excellent. Let's see your proof then. Shows your evidence. What evidence shows that the victim wasn't poisoned via his coffee mug? It's a long shot, but... Crap! Must I explain this over and over? We don't need possibilities here, head or forehead. We need proof. I know that. You should also know that every proof has its moment. Perhaps you're a bit early? I can tell you what. We know at this point, the victim put nothing to his mouth but that coffee mug. A hole in his case that needs plugging before I can prove anything. First things first, I better uncover a weak spot before I try to strike again. On the cross-examination. Oh, thank you, no penalty! Oh, thank goodness. Ow. Not one thing. You're sure?
Yep, sure as can be. Well,
what exception? What exception?
Journalist Spark Brushel does interview, leaves studio, and...
I hate you!
Come on. It's a joke, get it? Not funny, I know, but still. Did something leave the studio that night? Why does that sound familiar? Why have I heard someone like that before?
Well, now that we've proven our witness is a comedian of sorts, I'd like to turn to our defense turn before returning to the testimony. Do you have any idea what something might have left the studio that night? Well, just one thing. I think one thing very well might have left the studio. I don't! A certain something that has vanished from the crime scene. By which you mean something other than our witness? Of course. What is it? Don't tell me. Vera Misham? Believe me, any comic relief I may provide is entirely unintentional. Alright, what is it? Well, this thing wasn't at the scene of the crime, so I can't show it to you. But I do have evidence that shows how it could have been taken from the scene. The mailbox!
This is the only link between that studio and the outside world.
A letterbox? Yeah, good thinking, Apollo!
What did Mr. Brushel just tell us? When he entered the studio on the night of the murder, the victim had just finished writing a letter. Yeah, I said that, and yeah, it was true.
Furthermore, he went on to tell us that he put the letter in the yellow envelope and put it in the letter box. Ah!
But that very same letter box was empty. In other words,
that night the yellow envelope disappeared! There's no objection to that! Yes, intriguing. So an envelope had disappeared from the scene of the crime. Of course, this changes nothing. How does that change nothing? Here's the point, Mr. Justice. We need to examine the letter! We're trying to figure out how the poison got into Mr. Masham. Is it really important that the envelope the witness says you saw disappeared? Well, if it did disappear, then something did leave the studio that night. That seems very important to me. Very well then, the witness will add this to his testimony.
You got it.
I don't think this fails to change anything, Care Forehead. You're going to see. Don't be so sure. A letter disappeared from the crime scene that night. This is exactly the opening I've been looking for. Now let's go. It was put into the post from the studio, but I hardly think that matters. A letter was put into the post. We did not examine this thoroughly. Can we open this?
It had to be a really small photo to fit in there.
True, that pale blue stain. Why would there be poison in a place like this?
There's one obvious reason. Never put a poison in the coffee, rubbed a bit on here too.
It's so very obvious, Trucy. Oh, we got nowhere with that. Is the time right now? Well, let's press on this first. I don't want to risk anything. Nothing could be more serious than an envelope disappearing from that studio. And you are hiding that fact from us.
Yes, well, actually,
An argued the possibility that a letter disappeared from that studio. But Air Forehead, isn't there a much more serious question before us?
Thomas Brushel was poisoned, I know. So Brushel's testimony has changed, which means the facts of the case have too. And what he's told us means something entirely different now. I'm starting to think. Let's keep thinking, Apollo.
Alright. Let's press on that last statement. You say clearly as though it were obvious. This claim the defendant poisoned the victim is merely conjecture.
Yes, well, you see,
Clawbear's gonna come in.
my business, it's all about making the most ridiculous things sound right. But have it, I know. Yes, well, or actually, I guess it's more of ridiculous journalist sounds wrong, end quote.
Court is forced to agree with you. Please refrain from wild conjecture.
Understood loud and clear!
We could believe that. Everything's cool. But what do you really want from the testimony? Why was Drew Misham killed? That's not going to change, but if the coffee didn't kill him, I need to find what did. It's that little painting. I know it's from the studio, but I think that hardly matters. Is it the tiny frame? Or would it be Mr. Wright's letter? Let's present this first.
Objection!
And I'm dead.